Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a quick look of the Paul Reed Smith Swamp Ash Special in transparent charcoal. So this guitar is a welcome addition to the SE line as far as I'm concerned. I used to own one of the original core Swamp Ash specials, and the other guitar player in my band, Chris, begged me to sell him that guitar because he loved it so much. So I finally broke down and sold it to him, basically just to shut him up. And he loves that guitar so much, I know I'll never get it back. So when PRS announced that they were going to do these and released them, I knew I was going to have to make arrangements to get one. So I initially thought that I would want the ivory blue, version of this that they have, but honestly, lately I've been getting so many blue guitars and green guitars, really, for that matter, that I didn't want to get another bluish guitar, and I'm kind of going through a phase right now where I don't really like sunbursty type guitars, so I knew the vintage sunburst was going to be out, so that's what led me to get the transparent charcoal here. So the body is obviously made out of swamp ash, hence the name. And I've noticed that the majority of these seem to be pretty hefty. And this one, at an even 8 pounds, is probably the heaviest guitar I've added to the collection in a couple years at least. And it was basically the lightest one that I could find. So it's not super heavy at like I said, it is an even 8 pounds, but it's definitely heavier than most of the guitars that I've been playing recently. And that being said, it is a very comfortable guitar. The contours and everything are very nice. The neck is maple. It's got a maple fretboard on it. Radius is 10 inches. The bird inlays are abalone. And I'll be honest, since I saw the smaller bird inlays, like on my Silver Sky, I really dig that size bird inlay. And I kind of wish PRS would put, that size inlay on more guitars. But, that's probably just a me thing. The abalone does look very, very nice, though. The profile is the wide, thin profile, which I don't necessarily find all that thin, but it is a very comfortable, neck profile. It is a bolt-on neck, which is pretty cool. The frets are, I guess they'd be medium. That they lean more towards vintage size frets. They're not super big or anything like that. But the fretwork on the guitar is really, really nice. The frets were all level, and the ends are really, really smooth and done, very, very nicely. Neck finish is super smooth. Very, like I said, very comfortable neck. They did a really good job on this neck. Moving on to the headstock. as a guitar. You know, it's the normal PRS 3-on-3 headstock design. The nut is 1 11/16 wide, which is a width that I like. It's the usual, PRS nut. Now, the guitar comes stock with non-locking PRS branded tuners. You guys know I got in my locking tuners. So thanks to the people at GraphTech, I went ahead and put a set of the GraphTech ratio locking tuners on here. It's my locking tuner of preference, as I often say in these videos. And I put the bone, tuner keys on there. I just thought that, looked nicer. But nothing wrong, with the stock tuners. They're actually, pretty decent tuners. But like I said, I want locking tuners on all my guitars. Moving down to the electronics, there's a pair of the 8515S humbuckers, and the single coil is an AS01 single coil, and it's got a master volume, there's a master tone, that's a push-pull, and there's a 3-way switch. And the wiring's a little different than probably what you would expect. When the tone push-pull pot is down, basically you get the bridge humbucker. In the middle you get both humbuckers, and then obviously there you get the neck humbucker. When you pull it up is where it gets a little weird. When you're down, you get the bridge humbucker in the middle single coil. In the middle position you get the bridge humbucker, the middle single coil, and the neck in single coil mode. And then up here you get the middle single coil and the neck in single coil mode. So it's a little more odd wiring than, like I said, than you would probably expect on this guitar, but it does lend itself to getting, some cool tones. Then looking at the bridge, it's the normal PRS, tremolo bridge. I normally like 2-point, tremolo bridges more than a 6-screw bridge, but the PRS tremolo bridge kind of seems to be the exception to that because they do the 6-screw tremolo type bridge. They do it probably better than just about anybody. It's the way they have the notch, on the screws that the knife edge, rests on. It really makes for a smooth feeling tremolo. It stays in tune really, really well, which is also nice. It's very comfortable, on the hand. And the arm is kind of a low profile arm. It doesn't stick up super high off the body, which kind of lends itself to the way that I like to use the tremolo, which is just for, some, subtle colorations, I guess you'd call them, with the bridge. It's not really, a lot of dive bomb or anything real crazy like that, which is, I normally use the tremolos, a non-locking tremolo for sure, a little more subtly. So it lends itself to that. It's a really, really nice tremolo. So we'll do some tone samples for you. Of course, that means we're going to do the same riff that we always do, among some others. other than, you know, changing the tuners to the locking tuners, the only other modification I have done to mine is I've put the PRS core lampshade, you know, type knobs on it, which I think look, well, they look more right, you know, on a PRS guitar, but I definitely think they look nicer than the normal SE knobs, which are, you know, pretty plain, to be honest. I am toying around with the idea of maybe changing the wiring to basically, you know, a little more normal setup for, you know, this type of guitar, where, you know, making the push-pull, you know, just a coil tap. So when it's down, I've got, you know, humbucker, you know, both humbuckers, and then this humbucker, and pull it up, and then you would get, you know, single coil, both single coils, and single coil, and then adding a second, either push-pull or maybe like a mini switch that would then add in, you know, the middle pickup. So that way you could have, you know, humbucker in single coil mode in this one, or, you know, maybe have it in the middle so you have both these humbuckers and then add this as well. You know, that wouldn't be a super hard change. It's just a matter of do I want to leave this guitar the way it comes, or do I want to go ahead and, you know, mod it even further? I haven't really 100% made up my mind if I'm going to do that yet. You know, time will tell, I guess. So that'll about do it for the quick look of the PRS Swamp S Special. PRS, or actually I should say GraphTech, who is the manufacturer of these, you know, for PRS, really doing a good job on these, you know, current SEs. I'd say for the last couple of years, the SEs have really been knocking it out of the park, you know. It's a lot of guitar for the money, and, you know, I just think it's a really, really nice guitar. I want to thank you guys for checking it out with me. We'll see you next time.